Tom Aspinall fires back at Dana White's comments, calls Gane a cheater. Tom Aspinall just fired back at Dana White after the UFC 321 controversy, where Dana publicly suggested Tom should have continued after the eye poke, and that clearly hit a nerve. Tom finally responded. He did not hold back and laid out his reasoning. He also revealed what his comeback timeline could look like. Aspinall says there is already talk about surgery depending on how his eye responds in the next few weeks. He is not training, not sparring, not even doing light MMA work. For now, he is following medical orders and waiting to find out if he needs surgery, which pushes back any expectations for a quick comeback. So, the idea that he could have kept fighting that night, according to Tom, is completely unrealistic. Then, he unloaded on Ciryl Gane. Tom says the poke was not some freak accident. In his words, Ciryl had his fingers extended and reaching toward his eyes the entire round. Tom flat out called him a big cheater, saying the Frenchman kept pointing his fingers directly at his face until eventually the worst-case scenario happened. Fans are fired up for a rematch between the two since the fight looked extremely competitive and nothing like Tom's usual dominant first-round knockouts.
Think about Dana White saying Tom didn't continue, and then also, who gives a shit to eye pokes?
Well, listen, I didn't continue. I'll tell you why I didn't continue. Because I'm not a f***ing dummy. Like, I'm not going to go out there and fight one of the best strikers in the world if I can't see.
With double vision?
With any eye. Look, I know, as an MMA fighter, look, things are going to happen in the fight that compromise you. Go back and watch my fight with Arlovski. The end of the first round, he punched me right in the eyeball. For the rest of that fight, I couldn't see him out that eye. That's fine. If you get punched or kicked in the eye, that's fine. If you get double eye poked in both eyes and you've got no vision because of a foul, why should I carry on so some dummy can look and say, oh yeah, Tom just got knocked out? Because I ain't going to fight if I can't see anything because of a foul. If it's a little illegal move, we have to fight through it. That's what we do as fighters. But when it's a foul, why am I going to put my health at risk when I can't see at all?
Michael Chandler confirms Conor McGregor fight is official. Michael Chandler just confirmed that the Conor McGregor fight is officially locked in for June 2026 at the historic White House event, which will be broadcast live on CBS. If everything stays on track, this could legitimately become the most watched UFC event of all time. Dana White is going Allen on the spectacle. He already said the event will be outdoors, even if it snows. And behind the scenes, the production costs are reportedly exploding. We are talking $20 million or more on the level of the UFC Sphere event, possibly even higher. But here is the part fans need to hear. According to MMA Junkie's Mike Bone, early chatter around the card suggests it will not be some Avengers-style lineup where every superstar champion shows up. From what he is hearing, the UFC is planning a card filled with big names and high-profile fights, but not the absolute elite tier all stacked together. Think Conor, think Kayla Harrison, think popular stars who draw numbers. Not a lineup featuring Jones, Makhachev, Tapuya, and every champion under the sun. Like some people are imagining, it is still 6 months away, and the UFC is known for making last-minute magic, so anything can change. This will be a massive event because of the location, the production, and the Conor fight, but it is not meant to be a champion-packed megacard.
Seen a lot of you guys asking me why I didn't call out Conor last night. Of course I'm not going to call out Conor at a wrestling match, okay? I've done it enough. The fight's already happening. You know I'm fighting. You know I want to fight him. You know he wants to fight me. He's brought in guys to his training camp to mimic my style. So that fight has already been called out, been signed, sealed, and delivered since June of 2024. He's going to make good on his promise, on his word, on the ink on the contract here in June of 26. So it made sense. I'll fight Conor in June, South Lawn, White House. God bless. See you at the top.
Ever since Joe Rogan reacts to Khamzat Chimaev's leak, Michael Bisping dropped that insider info about Khamzat Chimaev's sweet tooth and discipline issues, the MMA world hasn't stopped buzzing. On his YouTube channel, Bisping said people close to Chimaev literally have to police him during camp because he'll sneak candy bars even with a fight around the corner. They would open his drawer and find 20 of them, remind him he has a massive fight in 2 weeks, and Chimaev would just laugh it off. And somehow, even with all that, he still went out there and won UFC gold, going 5 rounds with driest duplexy. But that's where the debate started. Many fans and analysts say that performance didn't answer the long-term questions about his gas tank. DDP spent most of the fight stuck on his back, never forcing Khamzat into a brutal pace. So, people still wonder if Chimaev's discipline will hold up now that he's the champion. When asked about it, Khamzat brushed everything off and said he doesn't care about gossip. And now Joe Rogan has weighed in. On a recent episode of his podcast, Rogan talked about Chimaev's discipline, his wild lifestyle, and whether these habits can survive now that every contender is coming after him. Let's dive in.
Khamzat's a freak, man. He just needs to be a little bit more disciplined. Bro, discipline is art. Yeah, I think it is, because it's beautiful for me to see. When I see someone who's really, truly disciplined, who like a David Goggins, someone who just like truly maximizes the grind, I feel like there's an art to that. And that I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. That's nonsense. People say that because they absolutely care what people think and it bothers them. So they say, I don't give a fuck. But that I don't give a fuck stuff is almost entirely nonsense. You do care. And you care in both ways. You care if people are critical of you, care if people are positive of you, but you also care if people are living positive lives and they're motivating you. That's a big one. People are fuel, and other people, it's one of the reasons why I like talking to people, one of the reasons why I like to do podcasts.
Josh Thomson believes Pereira versus Gane will happen in January. Thomson just lit up the heavyweight conversation by saying he believes the UFC will book Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane for an interim heavyweight title in early 2026. With Tom Aspinall announcing that his eye is in bad condition and he will be out for a long time, the timing actually lines up. The division suddenly needs movement, and Pereira is the biggest name available. While Gane is coming off a no-contest title shot of his own, Paddy versus Justin is set for late January. So, there is room for one big event before that, which makes a Pereira versus Gane interim title fight completely realistic. Two elite high-level strikers meeting at heavyweight on a pay-per-view stage would be insane. And if that matchup actually happens, it is one of the toughest stylistic reads in the entire division. Gane is the slickest mover the heavyweight division has ever seen. Extremely light on his feet, very good at managing distance, and almost impossible to corner cleanly. But Pereira brings something the Frenchman has never dealt with. Fight-ending power with insane precision from both hands. And he only needs one clean connection to put anyone down. As of now, nothing is confirmed, but the MMA community is definitely excited for what's next for heavyweight division.
Why do you think that Dana took this approach on the first cards? This is the very first card on Paramount and the new TV deal and TV rights deal. Like, do you just think that they looked at Paddy and go, look, Paddy's all we have right now. He's the biggest probably draw we can get. Islam just fought. Chimaev just fought. Chimaev's injured right now. Like, we don't really have. Alex will step up. I honestly believe that Alex and Gane is going to be the very first CBS fight. I'm just in my mind right now. It's just actually, as we're talking, I'm going, there's just too many things. There's too many coincidences, like coincidences in this whole situation. Like John going, yeah, if it's not on the White House card, okay, I'll just, move on, or I'll do something else, whatever it is. And then you got Alex and you got Gane face to face at these events. And Tom Aspinall now all of a sudden is the eye and the medical report. And I could just see it happening.